Welcome to this video on topic 1.3.5, Privacy Regulations, GDPR, CCPA, LGPD, and COPPA. This is part of the Governance, Risk, and Compliance section in the CompTIA SecurityX CAS-005 series. Privacy regulations are critical because they define how organizations must handle personal data. They give individuals rights over their data and hold organizations accountable for data protection. First, let's start with GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation. GDPR is an EU law that protects personal data of EU residents. It applies globally. Even organizations outside the EU must comply if they process EU residents' data. Key rights under GDPR include the right to be forgotten, data portability, and mandatory data breach notifications within 72 hours. For example, if a U.S.-based e-commerce site sells products to EU customers and collects their personal data, it must follow GDPR rules. Next is CCPA, the California Consumer Privacy Act. It applies to businesses serving California residents. CCPA gives consumers the right to know what personal data is collected, request its deletion, and opt out of data sales. For example, a social media company with California users must comply with CCPA by allowing them to request data access or deletion. Moving on to LGPD, Lei Geral de Proteção de Dados. This is Brazil's data privacy law. Like GDPR, it applies to personal data of Brazilian residents and includes consent requirements, rights of correction and deletion, and heavy penalties for non-compliance. For example, if a company outside Brazil processes Brazilian customer data, LGPD applies. Finally, we have COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. COPPA protects the privacy of children under 13 years of age in the United States. It requires parental consent before collecting data about children. Websites or apps directed at children must clearly state their data collection practices and obtain parental approval. For example, a children's educational app must get parental consent before collecting a child's name or email. Now, why do these regulations matter for information security strategy? Organizations must implement strong data protection and privacy by designing their systems. They need processes to handle data access and deletion requests, monitor third-party vendors for compliance, and keep up with changing privacy laws globally. To summarize, GDPR, CCPA, LGPD, and COPPA each protect personal data in different regions and contexts. Organizations operating internationally must understand and comply with all applicable regulations to avoid fines and build customer trust. This concludes our video on privacy regulations under 1.3.5 of the CAS-005 series. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more cybersecurity content.